Live from the Slackers Sports Bar Studios, this is In the Building with Mike Taylor and Rudy J.
Oh, look at that. We're back. Just like that, man. In that weird week between Christmas and New Year's when nobody wants to work.
I don't even know what day it is. I don't know. Like, I kept thinking today was like Wednesday. I don't know. I don't know what today is.
Sunday, the last 2 days.
Right.
You know? Christmas being on a Wednesday. And like, I mean, I did stuff Thursday, but it just felt weird. Traffic's been light. People aren't working. It's a weird time, you know? And for two old grindstoners like us who work so hard, Rudy, on these shows. I just wonder when we're going to get a break. Here we go. It's In the Building. Welcome to the Friday night extravaganza. We will not do shows tomorrow or Sunday. We'll be back with you Monday, but we will be out tomorrow. We're going to, we'll do some, we're going to break in tomorrow a few times from Mark's. This is technically an appearance / we do some live hits or whatever you want to call these things out at Mark's Outing Burger Joint on Commerce tomorrow, where we will be, me, Rudy, and DJ LG from 3 to 5. Mark's, the longtime burger joint, right there on Commerce, only 4 or 5 blocks away from the Alamo Dome property. And we're going to hang out at Mark's first from 3 to 5 and then head over to the stadium and watch Colorado take on BYU in the Valero Alamo Bowl. So welcome in here on this Friday night edition to In the Building. It is episode number 234 under our watch. You can jump on and chat with us if you want to. On the right-hand side of the screen is where I see my chats. You can super chat us, get us started off, or end the year on a good foot with some money. If you got money, we got the time. So if you want to tip us, that guarantees we'll read your message. So if you do tip us, we appreciate it, but try to write something decent. You know, don't cuss, don't be offensive. If you can help it, but we'll take your money in the super chat. You can also tip us on the buymeacoffee.com/loveyouhardtv link that no doubt LG will put up on the screen here in a minute. Good evening. How we doing? It is a weird time though. Like, I don't want to do anything. I feel lazy. I'm brain lazy. You know, my body's fine, but it's a weird time. With Christmas being in the middle of the week, which now means New Year's is going to be in the middle of the week.
New Year's is the middle of the week. It is what it is. It's like, you know.
It's weird.
Again, we coming from a world where we wouldn't be doing anything right now.
Be on vacation.
You'd be on vacation, using up that time. You don't use it, you lose it. But
sure.
Yeah.
No doubt. Well, we're going to make history tonight, though. Well, we're going to crown a champion. You know, he may not ever win another Super Bowl. But Jerry Jones will not finish the calendar year 20 and 24 a complete loser. He has won something. Let me check the final tallies here. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 In the Building Douchebag of the Year with a 66-34 win, 66% of the vote to the 34%. It is Jerry Jones. Oh, that's right. I've won another. I finally got me another ring. A man who is worth so much money, he does not have to give a damn about his football team. Even though he says he does, he has most of y'all fooled. He does not care about you. He does not care about winning. Not ultimately, not more than himself, because he cared. If winning were number one, he would do the things necessary to win, and he does not, and he rarely does. A lot of it is he's incompetent, but a lot of it is he's an arrogant, egotistical douchebag, and congratulations to Thunderdome for agreeing with me on this. He's absolutely the D-bag of the year. It was a great final, because if it wasn't him, it would be Aaron Rodgers, so I'm happy with the results. Justice has been served. Jerry's a champion for all the wrong reasons. It's funny because Texas Monthly named him the bum steer of the year a couple of weeks ago. But I think
which is the same thing, right?
Is that the same? Pretty much the same. Yeah, well, asshole of the year, bastard of the year, shithead of the year. Ours is douchebag of the year. He's mastered the art at the age of 81, 82 years old, however old he is. So he joins the likes of all the past legends. And so because he's now a champion, he can never, ever win again. Once you've won,
unless we do
you
a
go into
Champions
legend
League.
status. We've thought about doing a Champions League, which I think would be a fun bit this year. So Jerry Jones is the 24 D-Bag of the year. And for the second straight year, a man with Texas ties has won it. Not that he's from Texas. He's from Arkansas.
Who won last year?
Ted Cruz.
Mm.
Cuban turned Texan. And Jerry, actually, Ted's from Canada, I think. His dad was from Cuba. Ted was born in Canada, but reps Texas, baby. So Jerry Jones joins the likes of the past legends: Ted Cruz, Vladimir Putin, Greg Abbott, Donald Trump Jr., Kanye West, Kawhi Leonard, LeVar Ball, Donald Trump Sr., the Kardashian family, Wendy Davis, Stephen A. Smith, Chris Brown, and Mark Cuban. There it is. Chris Brown won D-Bag of the year. He beat the tar out of poor Rihanna, and then got in like 4 or 5 bar fights that year and acted like an asshole about the whole thing. Anyway, so Jerry's
that
champion.
was around the time when a couple years after that Chris Brown fiasco.
When was that?
Him and Drake were beefing.
Oh, God.
And remember, Tony Parker decided to go out to the club that night.
And Tony got hit with glass. Mm-hmm.
And the glass got in his eye, and he was wearing the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goggles. And that's when Tony ended his nightclub life after that. He was like, you know what? I'm too old for this shit. He got caught in between bottles flying between Chris Brown and Drake and got glass in his eye.
Yeah. Tony realized, wow, I can't keep up with the likes of these. These are different humans on a different scale from everybody else. So congratulations in order to Jerry Jones, the 2024.
Who did we say we would have voted for yesterday? Did we say Jerry?
I
said Aaron.
I would have voted for Aaron Rodgers, but I'm happy with the results anyway. You know,
Jerry, people are pissed this year, man. This is the first year I've really seen Cowboy fan actually like, nah, man, enough's enough. This is some bullshit.
Yeah,
it's the first time in a long time I've seen that.
Right,
where people are just fed up.
It's more than ever. You get that sense that it's really more than ever at this point. You know,
way more than ever.
Yeah, man, and that's good. And so I said something similar last night. You know, I renounced my fandom of the team because of him. But you know, we'll see how things go in the offseason, because I like Mike McCarthy. I have respect for him at this point with the job he's done. Although let me say this. Notice how they started doing so much better when the pressure was off. Just
Great
saying.
point. Great point.
You know, and we want to give McCarthy the credit, and that's fine, and he deserves it. But this team started playing its ass off when there was nothing to play for anymore.
Great point.
Thanks for showing up at 3-6 and deciding to play.
That's one of those harsh truths.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, damn.
Yeah.
Great point. Great take. Take of the week.
But that being said, while I'm not as like elated over this finish, I want them to lose the next two, and I think they will because they're playing better teams. Like Philly should whoop their ass Sunday, whether Jalen Hurts plays or not. But all this winning, all they've done is hurt their draft stock. They can't win when I want them to, and they won't lose when I want them to, because they're them. But look, man, I'm willing to. As long as we do a show that's South Texas based, I mean, we're going to have to focus on them. And I don't want to be ass whipped having to watch them. I would like to have a rooting interest, you know, but it's very difficult because that guy is who puts that group on the field. That guy is the one who gives Dak Prescott a massive extension. That guy is who failed to field a roster worth a damn this year, because of his own arrogance and debaggery. He thought he had a Super Bowl contender this year. With Rico Dowdle. I think he did.
No, I'm saying he didn't have. Maybe it was just the injury. Maybe it was just the injuries, Mike.
Okay. What are you drinking in that Cowboy Cup? Because I don't agree with your opinion. I think you're warped in that opinion. This team sucked from the day one.
Hey, you notice I picked the Cowboy Cup for a reason.
Sure. Yeah, I'm drinking beer, so I apologize if I belch. Although I guess I
The
had a dump.
only beer of the Dallas
Official beer.
Cowboys.
That's right. That's right. Why the hell should I care when I got $11 billion in my bank account? And his assets, if he sold the team today, he'd get 16, 17 billion for them, maybe 18.
20.
Because
it'd be a bidding war between Elon, Bezos, Gates, Ballmer.
Mm-hmm.
He'd get about 20.
Well, and Elon's looking to take over the world right now.
Don't get me started on that dude.
And that doesn't excite me that he's trying to take over the whole world. But what if it leads to him owning the Cowboys?
Would you want him owning the Cowboys?
I think.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, actually, I would.
Let me tell you why that wouldn't work. The other owners, because he has more money than all of them combined, would never let him in the fraternity because
they wouldn't approve it.
They wouldn't approve it. They wouldn't approve it.
Maybe not.
They wouldn't approve Elon. Like Bezos, they'd be like, "Hey man, this guy has more money than all of us too. But this is a humble dude. He ain't gonna talk shit to us. He ain't, you know what I mean? Like Elon, they're not letting him in the fraternity. He ain't letting him in."
Right. Dustin makes a good point about Jerry. Aaron's a bigger D-bag, but Jerry affects my personal life from a fan aspect.
That's a great take.
And that means he won't be in any more of these, just a little less Jerry. Right. Now that he's won the championship, he won't be nominated ever again, unless we do like a Champions League thing, which I don't know that he would win the overall Champions League. But hell, if we did the tournament tonight, he might win it just because he's top of mind and people are so upset with him. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm going to allow myself to root for them again at some point. Them, the players, and I'd like to see them win in spite of him. And I said this last night. I used to I got to the point where it's like, I don't want the Cowboys to have success because that means he has success and he's going to take all the credit. But your point last night was, yeah, but we all know better. No one would ever give Jerry any propers or flowers.
No.
If they won, they would say, it's a miracle they won despite the guy who owns and runs the team. Yeah. So that gives me some peace about maybe coming back over to the to the clickbaits. They did play hard. Yes, they did it when the pressure was off, but they could have tanked. They could have mailed it in. They could have quit, and they didn't. They got a bunch of kids out there fighting for contracts, and they played hard, and they rallied and probably get beat Sunday by an Eagles team that needs to get their stuff together for the playoffs. Probably get beat by a Washington Commanders team in Week 17 that's going to need to win to get some seeding in the NFC. And they'll go 7-10, just like somebody in this town said they would. And then they'll pick 13, 14th in the draft, and I'll try to get myself. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be giddy and I'm going to go buy season tickets or nothing, but I just want to try. I want to enjoy watching their games again because it's been a beatdown this year, and I have not enjoyed it. And I don't like the guy who runs the thing, and it just makes you not want to watch anything, So there's that. Man, at least they're not, there's worse run teams in this league, as we know. It's shocking.
It was a solid tournament. It was like some good matchups.
And
we had some strong matchups.
Oh, this was probably the best.
There was a time I thought Diddy was going to win. There was a time I thought Luka. There was a time I thought Aaron. I honestly did Jake Paul because of the LG picked a great picture for him. So there was about 4 or 5 guys I thought were going to win this thing. And when in doubt, I heard this one dude from Dallas say this on Ticket 760 for about 20 years. When in doubt, talk Cowboys. Touchdown, Jerry.
Well, Taylor's got some good ratings down there on the ticket. What's he doing? Talking Cowboy. And that makes me crazy. So while the ratings are still through the roof, the fan base is still just as crazy as ever. I'm delighted to know that fan base, while they still are crazy for the team, they know that this old son of a bitch here is a problem. And I'm glad that and our little show, our little straw poll makes me feel great about how this thing turned out. Even fans now are with us, and they're done with Jerry too. They'll continue to root for the team, but they're absolutely done with the dude. What would be awesome?
What's that?
We like this whole thing with so in training camp, Mike McCarthy asked the Cowboys for an extension, and they said no. And fast forward to now, and Jerry and Mike are hugging and kissing in the locker room the other night after they beat Tampa, and Jerry's acting like we're getting ready to have an extension here. How badass would it be if McCarthy told him, no, I don't want to work for you anymore. I'm taking the offensive coordinator's job in Detroit because Ben Johnson left. I mean, how badass would it be? Doubt it would happen, but it would be so awesome if Jerry decides, well, okay, fine, I'll go. Let's talk extension. And Mike's like, nah, I'm out. I'm going to go coach the Bears. God, that would be so badass if he bounced on Jerry.
That would be juicy.
No extension for me? F you. I'm going to tell you, Ron, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to give you a name.
That would be juicy. Who? What?
All right. Don Yee. All right.
I'm listening. Who is this? Is he Asian?
Well, yes, he's Asian. What's that matter? What does it matter?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Don Yee.
Okay.
Is not the owner of the latest sushi bar in King William.
Is he 5'5"?
Well, he's probably not 6'5", but he is a badass. Don Yee is the longtime agent of Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's also Sean McVay's agent.
Mm-hmm.
He's also Tom Brady's agent. He is a power when it comes to executives and coaches. And now that Brady's no longer playing, Brady has retained the services of Don Yee. Don Yee is a power agent with coaches and execs. And I don't know if he has a lot of players, but he represents coaches, like the best coaches in the league. Mike recently hired Don Yee as his agent, and that tells me that Mike wants to get taken care of here. And if the Cowboys offer an extension of 3 or 4 years and Mike's getting 6-7 a year, I'm sure he'll say yes. But how badass would it be if Don Yee got Mike a job in like Chicago or somewhere like that? We're going to have more firings. Mm-hmm.
What are you hearing about this? Because this is the third personality I've heard about this McCarthy Bear shit. Is that floating?
Well, because Mike would do wonders for Caleb Williams, I think. Mike's great with quarterbacks. Mike's a good head coach. He's a damn good quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator. That makes sense? He's good head coach.
A lot. Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense.
And he ain't Wade Phillips now, don't get me wrong. Mike's a good head coach. Is he one of the top 5 head coaches? No. Is he top 15? Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But he's one of the top 5.
He should be in the NFL. He should be in the NFL.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know if the Bears would even offer him the head coaching job. I don't know that he gets a head coaching job. Dallas may be the only head coaching opportunity he has next year. I'm just saying it would be so amazing. And we have 3 teams that already have fired people. We'll have 3 or 4 more, too, in a couple of weeks. It would be incredible if, let's say, I don't know, the Raiders, although the Raiders don't have a really good quarterback scene, but like the Raiders let Antonio Pierce go and they hired Mike McCarthy.
After
Jerry has to start over.
But would you, if I was Mike and if I was Donald Yee, was that what you said his name was?
Don Yee, yes.
And I got the Bears calling me, the Raiders calling me, and the Cowboys, Jerry decides to give me an extension.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys are out. You left me for dead.
Correct. Why would Mike want to come back after being left like a dog this year?
I'm not coming back.
Mike's so rich. His kids are grown now.
If I had enough, but the thing is, this is the thing I'll say, and I'm not a multi-millionaire, but our kids matter, right? And the only thing that's going to keep him there would be his kids, because I've wanted to move a couple times in the last 10, 15 years, but my teenager was like, what do you mean? Oh, it's all of my friends here. Don't do this to me. You know what I mean? And my dumb, I was like, okay, well, all right, we'll stick around. It was the right decision, but if he were to stay in Dallas and turn down other jobs, it's because his kids have gotten comfortable at said school and said environment with the neighbors and such. It wouldn't be because of business. It's because of the wife and the kids. That plays a factor. Again, they're multimillionaires, but the kids, they've had everything since they were born. They don't know any other life. It's just about them being comfortable. So if he were to stay, it would be because of that.
I would like to know that. I know that when he took the job at first, he wanted them to graduate high school in Green Bay where they had been for the same reasons you just said. But I think, but they graduated since. I think both. He's got two daughters. I think they've both now graduated. I think.
Okay, cool.
But I don't know I don't know where they live. I don't know their situations. I don't know if they're in college or anything like that. So it's a good point. And people love living in Texas, and they love living in the Metro 6.
No state tax.
No area other than San Antonio. Dallas and Fort Worth are number 2 on the most transplants list of 2024. People moving in. People love to live up there. But, boy, there's principle involved, too. It would just be so badass if Mike had an option and decided, no, man, I'm not working for this shit anymore. You put me. I put up with this circus. I got your ass to the playoffs twice. I kept you competitive when half the roster got hurt, the roster that you sucked at putting together for me. I'm going to go ahead and bounce. It would be so amazing if McCarthy screwed him like that. So as we go forth here, Cowboy fan, you may hear me root for the players, but you damn sure won't hear me give one iota of credit to that asshole that runs that thing. And I'm so glad and proud that Thunderdome's named him the D-Bag of the Year. Eric Bishop just donated $99.99. Thank you, EB. I know it's not a popular opinion, he says. As an impartial observer, in my opinion, McCarthy should get a lot of credit for how hard and decently they played down the stretch. Yeah, they should have tanked the season, but he did the right thing and competed. Props to him and him only. I agree. Absolutely.
Eric, I agree, but Mike made a strong point tonight that makes me feel like, to me, though, that's a leadership thing. But Mike saying, hey, you know what? It's not a coincidence that they started playing well without any pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's on McCarthy. I don't know if that's on Micah. I don't know where to lay that blame.
When Dak went down, this team started playing better. Not because Dak sucks, but because the pressure was off and no one expected anything. And all of a sudden now there's no. Remember before Dak got hurt, we got, Dak's upset. Dak's on the sideline saying we suck. All the national
Dak Prescott sucks.
All the cameras caught him saying it. Trayvon Diggs is bullying little reporters out in the hall. Dak's yelling at reporters, jump off.
Please.
Remember how much there was just so much around them. And McCarthy was here for that. Just saying. That happened under Mike's watch. And then all of a sudden everybody gets hurt, Dak specifically, and they start playing hard. Yeah, a bunch of backups that are playing their ass off trying to get in more contracts played hard. While I'm giving Mike credit, and I like him, he's a good coach, a damn good offensive coordinator, he should get credit for how they played in the second half. But let's not crown him. Let's not make him the coach of the year. And I know Eric's not saying that, but let's not make him the coach of the year, because once the pressure was no longer a problem, then all of a sudden we go out and we play hard. Okay. It's like baseball teams do this. Oh, we're 31 games out of first place. Oh, we've won now 8 out of 9. Okay. Pressure-free ball, no expectations. And we'll see. I just think it would be badass if Mike were to bounce. And Google that name, the great Don Yee.
Don Yee.
All right. What else tonight? This show brought to you in part by Ribaldo, the official real estate man of In the Building. It's at J. Ribaldo. This is a property we need to help him get moved, y'all. And these commercial properties they take a little more time.
It's tough.
Yeah, and this is a gas station, convenience store that is currently empty and for sale on the east side, where we'll be tomorrow, not far from here, on New Braunfels, right off New Braunfels and 35, not far from Frostbank Center. Lots of foot traffic in through here. And if you are looking at an investment commercial business, or you just want to run a gas station or whatever, hit up Jay Ribaldo and his partner Tom. Tom partners with Jay on a lot of their commercial properties they sell. So to get all the latest and get the information and the what they call them, the specs in that business
The
on
specs.
this property here, you can call Jay at 210-887-1081, or you can email him, or just go to his website or his Facebook page and see all of his listings, all in detail at Ribaldo.com. It is Ribaldo.com. All right, speaking of tomorrow, Rudy and I will be at Mark's. Y'all come out and hang out with us tomorrow from 3 to 5 before the Alamo Bowl. Eric Bishop, I still don't know who that is. And it's funny, his name is Eric Bishop. That'd be cool if it was Jamie Foxx. That's Jamie Foxx's actual name. That's his government name.
I do know that.
Terrell, Texas.
And
when Eric jumped into the chat tonight, reminded me, I forgot to tell you, we actually watched Jamie's special the other night on Netflix. You seen that yet?
It's crazy because it wasn't a comedy special as much as it was like, hey, I'm here. I survived. This is what happened. I didn't take it as a special, more as like, hey, this is what's going on. There was moments I wanted to cry. There was moments I laughed. There was moments I was confused, but I have watched it.
Right. You nailed it. That was our exact response. Misty eyes, laughing, and
it made me
confusion.
think about Pop, because like that's a guy that's in shape, fairly young, gone through a stroke.
Yeah.
And then it made me immediately, I turned to my wife, I was like, of course Pop ain't back yet.
Right.
Jamie
Foxx had to learn how to walk.
He had to learn. He said he stood up out the wheelchair and fell.
Right. Dude. And how old is Jamie? 52,
Jamie's
53?
in great shape too.
I know.
That's why it's like, it doesn't, man, we are not, I don't know what y'all believe in, but we ain't in control. Have your veggies, drink your water.
Yeah.
Take your turmeric.
Yeah.
Whatever. Right. Do what you do. But you are not in control. And I don't know what you believe in. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just
get
saying
your heart right with whoever you need to get it right with.
Yeah, we ain't in control.
You said you had some confused moments. What were those? I'm curious.
Oh, just kind of like wait, like this is, kind of like what he was saying. Like kind of what he was.
Yeah.
Like, wait, no, you say it.
I don't want to say it.
Oh. Say it. I don't want to say it either.
Because I don't want to offend you. I don't want to offend you if you're a big Jamie fan. And I'm a big Jamie fan.
It wasn't funny.
Some of that was a little showy.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was weird.
Showy. Some of it was weird. The daughters, like the daughter playing the...
I think when you see that white light, Mike, it makes you different.
Maybe.
I think when you see the white light, I think
a little hokey, faked.
It was a little
put on.
It was a little hokey. It was a little hokey because I was confused.
Okay.
I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
All right, we're on the same wavelength. Cool.
Yes, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay. Yeah, it was just, I thought some of it was kind of cheesy. Hokey.
For sure.
Maybe a little bit. There was some putting on. There was some putting on.
But then again, like he's not the first person that I've seen almost die, and they act like a totally different person.
Agreed. And he's been a celebrity since he was 17 years old.
And he kept saying like, "There's no way this is happening to me. I'm Jamie Foxx." He said that a few times in the special.
Jamie
like,
MF
I'm
and Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. Yeah, he's like, I'm Jamie MF and Foxx.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
yeah.
It was some weird moments.
There was some weird
some moments I was confused, for sure.
Our sugar daddy's back in here with another $20. Eric Bishop.
Can we just call him Jamie Foxx? Let's just call him Jamie Foxx from now on. Instead of Eric Bishop. Let's just call him Foxx. Let's call him Foxx.
When a team isn't good but has unfair expectations, they play worse than expectations. Granted, McCarthy was bad in the playoffs, but the players shoulder more of the blame, in my opinion. Culture wins. It starts at the top. Bingo, of course. And that's how it goes. And whenever we talk about the Cowboys, we're doing it knowing that Jerry Jones is the owner, but that's a given. It's like you almost want to start every single Cowboys opinion off with Jerry Jones is the owner, ... It's almost like a qualifier because we know that the culture is shit. And so that makes Mike look a little bit better too, because look what he's done in that chaotic ass culture. And
I don't
know who else does much better. Does Dak not shit the bed in playoff games if someone else is the coach? You can't guarantee me that. I don't I wanted McCarthy fired after the Packer playoff game. I did, but the question is, who's the next slap D that comes in, and what's he going to do any better to fix the culture or to win in spite of the culture?
In the world that we live in, look, there's only 32 of those jobs, right? There's only 32 head coaching jobs for the NFL. But in the time that we're in, because the salary cap is so high and because they're making so much money.
Yeah.
As a coordinator, if you're making $1.5 million, no, it's not what you would make as a head coach, but you're super comfortable to the point where you don't have to take a job you don't want to take. Because Ben Johnson could have been a head coach. You think Ben Johnson didn't get offers from somewhere? He chose to stay with Detroit because he's like, yo, what's the rush? So, like, thinking that somebody's just going to take the Cowboy job because they're the Cowboys and they make $1 billion a year, you're sadly mistaken, because you know that you're being set up for failure.
Right.
You've been set up for failure.
That's right.
You don't have to say $2 million is not $1 million to $2 million is not what you're making a head coach. But if you're making $1 million to $2 million, your family is not wanting for anything as an OC or DC. Your family ain't wanting for anything. Y'all could do what y'all want, when y'all want, how y'all want.
Right.
And nobody's just running to take that Cowboy job anymore because they see, like, damn, Mike McCarthy's a Super Bowl winner, has zero power, zero say-so, and dealing with 100% bullshit. Zero power, zero say-so, 100% bullshit.
That's correct.
It's not a formula where you go and take that job. Like, you know what, I'm going to just hold out. I'd rather have the Carolina Panthers job. I'd rather have the Bears job. I would rather have, and the Bears are awful. They're awful. I still rather have that job and take my little 3, 4, 5, 6 million.
I would too. I actually would too. And hell, as you're sitting there talking, I mean, I don't think it was true, but there were those that thought that Jerry might actually entertain Bill Belichick. And what does Bill do? He takes a college job. And so
he could have. That speaks volumes, Mike.
Sure. Yeah. And that's that. And you talk about how guys aren't just running to the Cowboys job anymore.
No, why?
Yeah, and now a lot of guys and college has become so much more attractive too. So Jerry's going to have whoever the next coach is, whenever Mike McCarthy's no longer the coach, whoever has maybe if Jerry's alive to do the hiring, you're also now competing with college programs too, where these kids are all getting paid. You don't have to put in the hours that college coaches used to do because you have a whole giant staff. These programs now have general managers that run the college program. That's more competition for coaches for the Cowboys because so many guys now are probably Belichick's not going to be the last NFL coach to jump to college.
Right.
And it's easier. And you don't have the bullshit. Well said, man.
Eric Bishop, a.k.a. Jamie Foxx. Chicago's the best city in America, sir. Voted on by a group of people. I've been to Chicago. Chicago in August
is incredible.
Is the greatest city in America in August.
Yeah.
Not in February.
Way, I'm glad your Bears came up.
What, you fell asleep during that bullshit last night?
Oh, yeah. Reason number 4,000 why I like college more than the NFL. You don't get 6-3 national television games in college football. I ain't crying for Caleb Williams, though. I like Caleb Williams. I'm worried about Caleb Williams. I'm worried about his psyche. But I'm not crying for him. You know why? Because I said last year, Caleb Williams needs to, hopefully Washington will trade up to get the number 1 pick and take Caleb Williams. Washington decided, no, we're chill. We're not going to trade. We're going to take the kid from LSU. It's worked out great.
Jaden Daniels worked out great.
We don't know what would have happened had Washington taken Caleb Williams. Would they be 10-5 right now? I don't know. There's a lot of people that don't love Caleb Williams.
Cliff Kingsbury.
His body language. His attitude. He's very California. Even though he's an East Coast guy, he acts very Californian. I get that. I ain't crying for him. What he should have done, what I said before the draft was, tell the Bears no. This world is changing. 18-year-old college kids can now determine what. How fucked up is the system where college teenagers can just jump whenever they want? I'm in the portal later. Go to whoever I want to. Free agency is anytime. Where in the NFL, it's a communist system where you award shitty teams first, and you got to go play for whoever drafts you. Maybe, let's say Eric's right. Chicago's a dump. I don't want to live in Chicago. I don't want to raise a family in Chicago. Chicago's cold. Got a lot of murders. I don't want to live there. I'm from Washington. And the Bears are terrible. The McCaskies and the culture there sucks. I'm not reporting. Eli Manning told the Chargers, "Don't draft us. We're not going there." And so, and they realized he was serious, and so they did not draft him, or they drafted him and traded him. I forget how it went, but we all knew Eli was never going to report to San Diego. Didn't want to go to the Chargers because of the organization. And then John Elway did it 20 years before that, back in the mid '80s. We're not going to the Colts.
John Elway did it.
The Colts were going to take John. Why aren't we? Eli and John are the ones that come to mind.
Shador is not going to the Giants.
Shador and Dion. He's
not going to the Giants. He keeps lying about it. Rich Eisen asked him about it.
Yeah,
and I promise you, he wants to go to the Vegas Raiders. There's video of Dion with the Vegas upper management saying, "Take both of them. Take both of my sons. We love Vegas. We love this stadium." He's not going to the Giants, and I don't want to hear no shit because I've seen this happen before. Nobody gave a shit when Arch Manning told the San Diego Chargers, "My son's not going there." Nobody gave John Elway shit when he said, "I'm not going to be a Colt." So I don't want to hear anything.
Oh, you won't hear it from me. I think more kids should be doing this. The NFL is a stupid setup. It's a dumbass system with too many divisions where you have teams that are going to go 9-8 or 8-9 with a home game in the playoffs against a team with 11, 12 wins. Stupid. They have this communist setup where if you have the worst record in the league, you automatically get the first pick in the next draft, which is dumb. It's stupid. The least that can happen is more kids start saying no. I'm not reporting. How much money did Caleb Williams make at USC? $20 million in endorsements and NIL properties?
It was a lot.
He should have told the Bears no. So here in a year or two, when he flames out because he got ruined by that shitty culture in Chicago and caves under the pressure, I don't want to hear about it. He should have told the Bears.
Why you got to tell the truth like that?
He should have said no. And I'm sorry it's Chicago, but there's other teams too, There's a lot of teams. Like, at some point, we're gonna have where these kids now, because these kids are getting more power in college, they come into the NFL with power. How much money has Shador made in the last 2 years? 30 million?
Nah, like 7.
You sure?
He was making like 8. He was making $4 million a year.
Okay,
so it's about 8.
The days of my family's gonna be set up, this is wonderful, those days are over. And in the first round, all these first rounders are rich already. We need more kids to start saying no. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I don't want to live in Seattle. I don't want to go. I don't want to raise a family in that city. I'm staying. So I'm gonna stay in the South. We're gonna start seeing that. I think more. It needs to happen. Because these damn shitty-ass organizations get away with too much. Dallas, as much as we hate Jerry, they're not even close to the worst-run franchise in the league. Cleveland, Chicago, Miami.
I'm not a huge Bryce Young fan,
mm-hmm.
but we feel like he sucks because they put him in the worst situation I've seen in the last 100 years.
Sure.
And I'm not even sitting here telling you Bryce Young is Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. I'm not saying that. But Bryce Young got thrown into the worst situation in the last 100 years and then got benched, and everybody's like, yeah, he should be benched. What? Why should Bryce Young be benched? That team, from owner to person that tapes the ankles, sucks.
Absolutely.
But only thing we talk about is Bryce Young. So correct. I hear where you come. And I've always told people this. I've told Chiefs fans this. I'm like, y'all love Patrick Mahomes. But let me be clear with y'all. If the Bears did what they were supposed to have done and drafted Patrick Mahomes, I'm not saying he'd be out the league, but he'd be on his second or third team.
Right.
It matters where you go. It matters where you go. He got to go with Andy Reid. He had Travis Kelce. He had Tyreek Hill. And he got to sit behind Alex Smith for a year. Patrick Mahomes, I'm not saying that he would have sucked, but the fact that he's in the GOAT conversation right now has a lot to do with the fact that he went to the right place at the right time.
Bingo.
It's not just because Patrick is just Patrick. No, sir.
No,
sir.
I agree 100%. So much has to do with simply who you work for, and these kids are now getting paid in high school. So you tell me this
states for sure.
If you're an elite football player, you go from high school where 400 schools are literally bidding for your services. You don't get drafted. Oh, sorry, you got drafted by LSU. That's where you got to go. Oh no, you get to choose where you go.
Great
you
point.
get to pick. You get to choose who's got more money. You get to pick the good city. You get to pick the right program, right coach. You get to decide. And you make a shit ton of money while you're in that school. You can even transfer and go to another team 3 or 4 times if you want. They're coming into the NFL having been treated like regular workers.
Yeah.
And you go into a league like the NFL that's set up to shit all over its players. A rebellion is coming in pro football in the next 5 years amongst the players. It's coming.
I saw and it was a great bit. I'm mad at myself. You ever see a bit so good you get mad because you didn't do it, you didn't think of it?
Every day when I go to the internet.
I saw a bit where the guy, so on Monday nights, they say Mike Taylor, TCU. Well, now with the portal,
right?
Like Mike Taylor, Utah, BYU, Colorado, Arkansas. You got because of the portal, you got to say 4 schools.
Sean Johnson,
on Monday.
Half the SEC. That's pretty fun.
I was like, how did I not think of that?
A lot of them just say they're high school now more than ever.
Yeah, like, dude, some of these kids have literally been to 3 colleges. So what do you say on Monday Night Football?
My mama's house. I don't know. St. Ignatius High School.
Right.
Look at Deshaun Watson. He goes from an all-pro quarterback to whack job. He goes to Cleveland, and he's the worst quarterback in the league, and they're restructuring his deal again. That's the news out of Cleveland. Cleveland is terrible. The organization's terrible. The business sucks. The city's a shithole. The organization's awful. The culture is crapola. If Patrick Mahomes had been drafted by the Browns, to go back to your analogy,
what are we talking about?
There ain't no way he's Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying he's Johnny Manziel.
We're not calling him a system quarterback, but we calling him a system quarterback.
Right. He ain't Johnny Manziel, but he ain't Patrick Mahomes if he goes to Cleveland or Dallas for that matter, or even Dallas.
Because he's from Tyler, Texas. I'm glad he didn't go to the Bears. And Tammy Markham makes a great point in the chat. Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl with the Rams, but they had him just handing the ball off. He gets to Detroit, and he looks like an MVP.
Right. Pretty much.
Matters where you go, man.
He developed, and then he was, when Sean McVay got the gig, Goff was about to wash out, so McVay needed his own guy. It worked out for both. The Rams won the title with Dallas's own Matthew Stafford, and the Lions may win the title with Jared Goff, which would make that whole story just the whole thing would be just incredible. Incredible. All right, let's do some punching tonight, presented by the official family lawyer in the building, Orlando Kell. Who do we want to punch tonight? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I want to punch. God, I can't think of who the guy's name was. I should have looked this up.
Go ahead.
He wrote a column in USA Today. Whoever the NBA writer is, talking about Wemby. I'm just going to punch the editor. I'm going to punch the sports editor of USA Today for allowing this kind of bull junk, to use Dion's term. USA Today sports editor, punch him or her, whoever that is, for allowing a column to be in their paper suggesting that the NBA forced the San Antonio Spurs to have Wemby more in the forefront. Because they're worried, and a lot of people have this opinion in New York. Of course, New York doesn't give a shit about anything that happens west of the Allegheny Mountains. So if it didn't happen in New York, it don't matter. So Wemby makes his one trip to New York this week, and what happened? He goes 42-18, shows out, and now we get columns about, well, Wemby should go to the Knicks. Too bad Wemby's in San Antonio. Some of that old stuff about how the Spurs are small market and will hold Wemby back is already starting to trickle out from media members, and it couldn't be further from the truth. It's absolute bull junk.
So you feel like this is an okay place for him?
Absolutely.
Feel like this, if you're, I'm asking you to remove your Spurs fandom. I'm asking you, be Wemby's agent. Be Wemby's agent. Sure. Be Wemby's agent right now. Mm-hmm. You have a team that we don't know, because Wemby wanted to be a Spur because of Coach Pop. We don't know if Coach Pop is coming back.
Ever.
Now I don't know if Mitch is worth a damn. You're misusing the 4th overall pick.
You are.
You gave me Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes. I don't know if Keldon is the real deal. I don't know if Jeremy Sohan is the real deal. I'm being Wemby's agent right now. And it's not about market. Russell Westbrook made $1 billion in Oklahoma City.
Yep.
Wemby is not about market. Wemby's going to make money wherever he's at.
Tons.
It could be Mars. He's going to make money. But Wemby wants to win. And Wemby's telling me as his agent, I need to win. And I need to win as soon as possible. Is this the best place for him to win? Screw the market. Let's throw the market out. These guys can make money. Anthony Edwards is making money hand over fist in Minnesota. That's the shittiest town in the world because it's 0 degrees right now. Trae Young is making money hand over fist. Like, you can make money anywhere.
Sure.
If I'm Wemby's agent, you're Wemby's agent, Mike, is this the best place for him to win?
Well, this is aside from what I was talking about a second ago with like the boringness and small market.
Yeah.
It's just ignorant.
Yeah, it's ignorant.
Screw that. Answer one is, I don't know if this is the best place for him. It is now on the organization to prove it. And they're not proving it so far. They have shingles of money next summer in free agency. They have some tradable players. And ask me in 6 months that question again.
Okay.
Because we got a trade deadline coming up in February, and we have a summer free agency period coming up. Ask me in 6 months that question, because right now the answer is I don't know. But you can't guarantee that anywhere right now. The other answer, I went back to what I was saying earlier.
Go ahead.
Once again, just the ignorance about the San Antonio Spurs franchise outside of this city, it never ceases to amaze. How people get paid so much money to write national columns in global newspapers to write such shit is beyond me. It just goes to show where media is. The only reason why the Spurs were boring, which they were not boring, Manu Ginobili is one of the most exciting players I've ever seen. That 2014 team was basketball heaven. And if you thought the Spurs were boring in 14, you just don't like ball. I can't help you. The only reason why the Spurs had that reputation they had for not caring about attention, not caring about endorsements, was because Tim Duncan was a shy kid from an island in the middle of the ocean and didn't want any of that shit. And they did everything they could to make Timmy happy. So I think the Spurs will do everything they can to make Wemby happy. If whatever Wemby wants, Wemby's going to get. If Wemby decides I want this, Wemby's probably going to have some say-so on the next head coach, which, and I know Wemby wanted to play for Pop, but Pop was 74 when they drafted him. So Wemby has to know that he's going to wind up spending way more of his career with the next person than Pop. They spent 20 years doing whatever Tim Duncan wanted to do, especially after they damn near lost him to the Orlando Magic in 2000. Or whenever that was, 2001, 02. If Wemby says, I want massive endorsements and I want y'all to have better halftime shows, but they would do it, is my point.
Yeah, for sure.
They're gonna. I don't know if they'll ultimately put a championship around him, but they're damn sure gonna try. And these these stupid columns about, it's just too bad he's in little San Antonio. It's too bad you don't care about basketball, motherfucker, because you got access to every one of this man's games. You just don't want to watch. He plays the Knicks, and so you bother watching him. Get the fuck out of here.
I shared something on social media the other day, and while I agree with you, Mike, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett have their own pod. Yeah. And Paul Pierce said Manu would have been an 11-time All-Star had he not been in San Antonio. Do you agree with that?
He would have been. I do. I think Manu sacrificed individual glory for loyalty and championships in San Antonio.
So you don't feel like any of that still resonates with Wemby?
No, because Wemby's the Tim Duncan in this scenario.
Woo.
Hey,
cheers to that. Great point. Cheers to
Steph Castle may have to sacrifice some individual glory.
Cheers to that.
If he wants to be a part of a title, Devin Vassell may have to, and I'm down on Devin right now, but
are you down on Devin?
A little bit, yeah. He ain't done shit lately for me. He ain't making me happy right. He ain't hitting all the right spots right now. We're having trouble, he and me, but Devin Vassell may have to sacrifice some individual glory because it's Wemby's team, So in that scenario, Steph Castle may be the Manu of the next generation.
I'm gonna punch the De'Aaron Fox rumors. Now the rumors probably get stronger now that Mike Brown got fired. And shout out to Mike Malone. I know we punching people, but I'm gonna hug Mike Malone for saying, "Hey, I'm not shocked Mike Brown got fired. I got fired by the same people. They didn't even have the balls or the guts to fire him in person. They waited till he was on his way to the arena.
Call him in the car. Sorry ass bastards.
I don't believe these rumors about De'Aaron Fox. Do you? So punch these rumors about De'Aaron Fox becoming a Spur, because keep in mind, De'Aaron Fox is a damn near max player. So if the Spurs are really pursuing Fox, there's a lot of pieces that people love here that are going to be gone. Sacramento's not trading. No, I'm not. And I'm not saying that you're not right, Mike. I'm not saying you're not right, but that's going to cost you. That's going to cost you a Castle. Off the rip, you just throw Castle in. Castle's gone. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Like, look at that sound you made. Possibly Vassell, possibly Shohan. Like, there's a lot that comes into that, and that's why I'm punching those rumors, because I don't believe the Spurs have been putting this thing together this long, only to trade it all for Fox. But at the same time, you got to please Wemby. So I'm torn, but I'm just not buying the rumors. I'm not buying it.
I would like to see it. I don't want it to come at the expense of Steph Castle. It'd be cool if they could get away for that to happen without having to send him off. But I'm open to it. Okay. I said this earlier today to some folks. The Spurs have got to get their ruthlessness back.
In what way?
When they had Tim, they did whatever the fuck they wanted.
I want some nasty.
ABC wants to interview Tim. No. Sprite's offering Manu $80 million for a commercial. No. Mike Taylor of Mike Taylor's show on the Ticket wants to interview Matt Bonner on the radio show. No. They're arrogant, but it was good. They could be ruthless because they had Tim Duncan. They need to get back to the ruthlessness. I bitched about this last year. For 3 or 4 years, we've had this boys' camp where losing was okay because they were tanking. There were times last year and the year before where the Spurs would get beat by 25 and Pop would praise them for their effort. Who the hell was that? Who is this guy that's taken over Greg Popovich's body? We got to get that nasty back and be ruthless. And if ruthlessness is bye-bye Steph Castle because De'Aaron Fox is coming in, then bye-bye Steph Castle. Because we got this kid. He is once in a generation. He is one of his kind. No one's been in the league like him. You do whatever the hell you have to do to make sure it's championship material around him.
Do we have the pieces? Do we have the pieces in the front office that are willing to say, I know for 20 some odd years, we've taken the built, not bought approach.
Yep.
Ball it up, crumble it up, throw it out the window on I-10 and go the bought route. Do we have those pieces in place? Because we're built, not bought,
no,
Mike. We've had those billboards.
I know. Built, not bought. Not yet, man. I think Castle, it's easy to compare everybody to the big three. Obviously, it's not mirror images.
It's not fair. It ain't fair. It ain't fair to the new guys.
It's safe to say that the next Tony's on the team in Steph Castle, although he's a damn good defender too.
I would love, and he's 6'4".
Yeah. The next Manu is not here.
No.
No. And then throw in a lot of those. You can go when you get 2 world stars on your team. You can build the rest of it's fine. It makes the rest of it easy. I think they're on their way. Ask me in 6 months. This is a big moment. We're going to see how many guys want to play with Wemby because I've been told that many of them do. We're going to see in the summer because the Spurs got money. Orlando
the kid that went to BYU, the kid that's going to BYU, he's in high school. He plays for a prep school in Utah. BYU is giving him $7 million NIL.
Yep.
He said he either wants to play with Orlando or he wants to play with Wemby. Now, again, he has to wait a year. Yeah. So people want to play with Wemby.
The kids do. But in the summer, how many current veterans that can come in here and make this team a 55-win team because of Wemby and that guy, how many of those guys want to come here? We're going to find out pretty quick. Right. Orlando Kell, this is a guy you got to go to find out. If you find out your old lady's doing some things behind your back and you need to file some papers against her, then Orlando Kell will do it for you. If you've been served with papers yourself, Orlando Kell will defend you. He is the official family lawyer. He brings us people I want to punch each and every night. It is Orlando Kell at 210-775-4995. You can email him directly at orlandokell@gmail.com, orlandokell@gmail.com. All right, we're going to be at Mark's tomorrow. It's BYOB. So if you want to bring your own hooch. So run by any one of the 7 Texas cheerleaders in and around this town and bring it all you want. Mark Outing said, no problem. They can bring their own. No sweat. No problemo. So bring your own. Stop by any Texas cheer. And don't forget to get the discount mentioned in the building and get yourself a 5% discount when you mention us at In the Building and all Texas cheers in this area. Yes, sir.
I'm glad you brought that up, Mike, because I saw in the chat when we first came on air, Eric Bishop said he's going by Texas Cheer. Eric,
excellent.
Make sure
get the discount.
Make sure you get the discount. I know you like to spend money. Make sure you tell them In the Building.
Indeed.
And pick up that 1792, 125 proof, only $49.99.
I saw Mr. Singh wrote yesterday somewhere, maybe on this chat site, that Thunderdome's been repping pretty good lately at Texas.
You saw that?
Yeah. There's been a pickup. Hey, we got a big tailgate tomorrow. New Year's week coming.
BYOB
tomorrow. Eric Bishop, our sugar daddy, with another $19.99. R.C. Buford is still the guy. He's there in the war room. His talent eye is still there. If Foxx forces his way out, Spurs will have leverage. They've got crap loads of picks for a team rebuilding what Sacramento will be. That's the thing we also have is a bunch of picks to trade. We got like 15 picks in the next 3 years, including Atlanta's number one for the next
it's the Sam,
this coming year.
They've taken the Sam Presti approach. Even though Sam Presti is a disciple of the Spurs.
Yep.
The Spurs have started following his ways. Like, yo, all right.
That's Spurs. All right, before we get out of here, don't forget Mark's tomorrow, 3 to 5. We're gonna be if y'all are going to the game, you got tickets, come hang out with us before the game over at Mark's outing on Commerce. Pour some out for the great Greg Gumbel, one of the great professional straight men broadcasters ever. Lost his battle with cancer in his late 70s today. His wife, Darcy, I think her name is, announced that earlier tonight. Greg Gumbel on CBS for years was a staple, calling games and then doing studio work. NBA, the NCAA tournament. He was so good running the studio for the NCAA tournament for years. The great Greg Gumbel, dead at the age of 78. All right, man, let's get some rest. We gotta get up in the morning. I gotta get chores done, have a good breakfast, but then get ready for Marks at 3:00. I'm excited, man. We're going to go see Shador and Travis Hunter tomorrow night. Go see the first 2 picks in the draft, probably. What a cool thing for the guys at the Alamo Bowl. I know some guys on the board.
They've had some great breaks. They've had some great breaks over the years.
Good deal, man. I'm looking.
God loves the Valero Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, he does. Certainly does. All right, you'll see y'all out there. Find us. You gonna wear a Colorado shirt? In the press box?
If I ain't sitting in the press box, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be in that damn press box. Maybe we'll sneak out and find some empty seats down in there.
Yeah, man.
I'm pretty good about sneaking my way into places because I want to root for Colorado. Like
Me too.
I want to get a beer.
Sorry.
Speaking of beer, y'all got tailgate tomorrow. Look for us because after Marks, I'm gonna cruise to the tailgate scene too. Say hi to people before we go into the stadium. See y'all tomorrow, Marks. Love y'all hard. Back on In the Building on Monday. Thank you to DJ LG. Thank you to the people. Buenos noches. Buenos noches, amigos.
Buenos noches, amigos.
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.